Hey, what's up? So I just want to make this video about how I am blasting through my life right now. It is, of course, there's like a bunch of factors that contribute to it, but I mean, so number one, so this is a funny one to talk about, right? It took me a courage to talk about where I was before. So number one, I quit smoking weed. I mean, that wasn't getting me to where I need to go. I said to somebody recently about what I'm doing with my life, and it is I stopped doing everything that wasn't getting me to where I needed to go and started doing everything that I should have been doing a long time ago. And that needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Of course, everything is a process and it builds. Sometimes you have to go through some stuff. Sometimes you got to live in your car for a period of time to reach a place where you're like, oh, okay, I'm ready to do this or do that, right? And that's what it took for me. But I mean, in the figure of speech sense, it's like I've started, I've known that I should be eating like 100% raw diet for a long time. I have a piece of writing from a long time ago, years ago, that says I know I gotta go raw, but it's a challenge. It's like once you've tasted something that's good, it's hard to forget what it tastes like. It's very addictive. It's something that's enjoyable that you can it becomes a real thing. And so let's move this thing here. Oops. Yeah, so it's been very challenging to stop eating that food, but it's like it all changes when you have something that, or when you start to see the difference that it makes. So for myself, I don't like when I have bags under my eyes, when I look tired, when I feel tired, when I am exhausted, when I don't have the energy to do the things that I need to do. And then it affects my sleeping patterns, it affects my yoga practice, it affects my meditation practice, it affects my work, it affects my creativity, like the things that I am doing, and it affects my organizational skills, where there's times when I just my life kind of falls apart a bit. And or not that it falls apart, but I don't proceed through the things that I need to do, that I should have done a long time ago, that I've been procrastinating on. They build up, and it just becomes like a list that gets transferred to a list, then transferred to a list, and transferred to a list, and then damn near forgot about, because it's like something that it's like, okay, well, I know it's like, say, paperwork, some kind of paperwork, doing your taxes or addressing some issue, and you just fail to do it because you're not on point. And so for myself, eating a raw food diet has solved those things. It takes a bit of work. I now make my own breads, and it's just like, it's important for myself because I have an expanded palate. I've eaten more than just fruit in my life. So I do like to enjoy a little more than just mono meals and like fruit meals or whatever it looks like, right? So to have a list of the things that I like making right now, I'm making these that I've eaten the last couple of nights is raw tacos. So I make these raw breads, which is just carrots and apples and flax seeds and chia seeds and ginger and some cinnamon and cranberries and pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds dehydrated. And it makes, like, at first I was making crackers, but now they're like bread, and you can then take these things and like use it like a tortilla, and then put I made an almond cheese, like a raw almond cheese. So the one I have right now is almond, cranberry, and thyme. And so the crackers are like neutral, in flavor, so they can be sweet or savory. And also with the bread too, then you can put bananas and like peanut butter, which isn't like raw, but it's making a huge change from eating like cooked bread, something that's been baked or whatever. And so, yeah, anyways, the point is that like having these different things, I'm making raw macaroons, and I made these things are called blondies. They're like brownies, but really to me it's basically the same recipe that I used to make for bliss balls, so anyways, you get the cookbooks or uncooked books and you figure the stuff out. Makes a huge difference. I mean, I think I made a video recently about how important meditation is, and I've touched on the past on the role that it has in sleep, where it's like when you sleep, you recharge your batteries, but meditation does the same thing. So having a solid meditation game, it makes a big difference in how you do your life. And I was also saying how the mind is inherently unrestrained, so learning to focus on things, and of course it helps in life to get organized, and like so that for myself, I'm getting up earlier and I'm able to do a lot more. I'm accomplishing a lot of stuff, and it's like it's a lot of work right now, but it's only because I'm getting caught up on things that I've been sleeping on forever. And then eventually, you get caught up and then you get ahead, right? And that is the idea. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that phrase, who doesn't want to get ahead, right? And so, but it takes getting caught up first. And so, yeah, so quitting smoking weed has just been instrumental. I mean, so I don't know if I will again. I can't say, but it certainly has zero place in my life right now. It would just completely interfere with everything that I'm doing. So I have no interest in it at all whatsoever. And that goes for drinking too, or yeah, any other kinds of intoxicants. I stay away from coffee because it doesn't make me feel good. Sometimes my boss will bring me a coffee and I'll drink it. I'm at work, so it's okay to have a little bit of extra energy, but like at home, there's no place in my home life, and I don't need to purchase it and prepare it. And it's made a big difference not having that stuff. And I can also feel it in my face. I can feel how it affects my skin structure and stuff like that. The moment I drink a coffee, I can feel almost like a stiffness happen in this area. And so so that's a thing. What else? Certainly going to the gym in the right amount. So having because I do so much yoga, it's calisthenics. I do an upper body day and a lower body day, and I do those once a week, and I allow at least 2 days in between. So I'll do upper body weight 2 full days, and then do lower body 2 full days. I do practice yoga every day, but not always what I term hardcore yoga. I don't always push myself, and especially to do to practice and learn postures that I can't do, because that's really pushing yourself. It's something I never really talked about in my last video, is how that is. And also to do with yin yoga. You want to get good at yoga, yin yoga. This isn't just for lying around and like just having this easy class. If you are tight and you want to get good, learn about yin yoga. It's sitting in a pose for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time, and allowing your body, when it's supported, to open up naturally. And this is how I've made a lot of progress in my body, and it's made a huge difference. I've progressed massively because of this practice of all of these things, but absolutely yin yoga. If you're into it and you need to open these things up, you got to learn what that is. It's a different thing. Yeah, so that's a thing. What else? There was a bunch of things. So diet, not smoking weed, going to the gym to cultivate the high energy, to certainly not hanging out with people who are not in this type of a mindset, to not expose myself to the things that they say, to those types of energies. It doesn't help anything. I need to be around my people. I need to be supported. And if that means alone, if there's people like that, that's great. If not, it means being alone. It means that I need to self-support. I need to be self-sufficient, and I need to, And so another thing along these lines, I've completely stopped watching all movies or anything like that. Like, there are things that I will find that I think it's like, oh, maybe I'll, I might want to watch that later and I'll take a note or whatever. But like, I do not zone out in any way on anything ever. I don't turn a movie on. I don't just be like, oh, I'm going to do this and then just lie there or any of that kind of stuff. That has gone completely out the window. So I'm not being influenced by anything. I don't see images of scantily clad women, which gets my mind going, which gets me down into my lowest chakra and gets me thinking about sex and stuff like that. It just does not help at all, when I'm trying to focus on stuff. And that's another one too. I mean, I made a video about this, how important it is to harness that sexual energy. And it is a very powerful energy. And it is, if you are intending on being in command of it, not letting, I have a phrase, it's like, you have to, it's like, it applies to a lot of things. Certainly working, when I used to tie steel, you have pliers and you have to use them, like, or they will use you. It has to be you taking control, or else, just like with your mind, it is you who has to gain mastery over it, or just expect it to have its influence over you. And it's probably an unwanted one, right? So it's a huge thing. I mean, so stopping that. And so what do you do in place of that? Reading. I mean, learning. I am powering through books. I am learning so much from this book, The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, by the translation is by Edwin F. Bryant. It is just phenomenal if you're ready for that type of an understanding. And it confirms so many things that I have kind of come to realize myself, insights that I've received along this path. And it's just like, wow, it's so good to have some confirmation, even though, do we need external sources of whatever? All I'm saying is it helps. If somebody, if this is what the enlightened masters are saying, and it's the same conclusion that it's not validation. I don't think so. It's confirmation. It's like, okay, no, I am following my heart. I am listening to my intuition. I am walking this path. It does make sense. All of this stuff makes perfect sense. Yoga is it. I'm telling you, like, at least according to where I'm at right now, this is it. I have never found anything like this in all of my studies, even with like Hermeticism and Taoism. The depth of yoga is unfathomable. It is, right? But figure of speech once again. So just phenomenal. And then being inspired by that. And it's like in about 2 weeks of doing everything right, I have like made more progress in the last couple weeks of my life of being on point than I have in the last years. because, and it's not to discount the process. The process is the process, but, I can look at how much I'm getting done, and it's like every little thing, like do your taxes, or like registering my symbol with the Canadian intellectual property people, and like this and that, like all of these things. I have a meeting on Monday with a business mentor that's going to help me launch some businesses. I'm working towards a digital marketing scholarship so that I can effectively promote these videos better, and other businesses that I'm starting. I'm building my van. It's going into the shop to get this and that done. And it's just like, I'm just on fire. And it feels really good, to finally be free from, I've heard Graham Hancock say his experience about weed is it's like the monkey on your back. It's like I shook off the monkey, and it's just like, it feels good. And I noticed that my posture has improved. I'm sitting up straighter. I've learned to, I don't do this anymore. Like I used to do this thing where I stretch my shoulders back, and this, I think that I'm doing myself good. No, relax. Like when it's time to do yoga, but don't put your body under strain all of the time. So, and everything needs to be done very mindfully, but all of these factors has led to some beautiful things, and everything is just unfolding. I sold my Moog synthesizer the other day, or yesterday, and that's fantastic because I have another one coming. And I just, I've been purchasing some things even though I said that I wasn't going to, but it's like I can tell I've done this before. I'm setting myself up for what is to come, and it's like I'm not making foolish purchases. Everything is very calculated, and just making sure that it is really needed. And and making sure, like right now I'm going to order some barefoot shoes because all of the shoes that I had were squishing my feet. It's so bad for you. And also things with arch support and heel padding and all this kind of stuff. For me, because I'm hypersensitive, right? I mean, it is just, I've had to take some very nice pairs of shoes and say I'm never going to wear those again. And so I will have to find a way to sell them or something along those lines to give them to somebody who appreciates them or who has smaller feet than I do. And then, spend a couple bucks, but get some things that are healthy for my body so that I am not doing damage to myself. It really helps to be motivated, by something and have a plan. And I met somebody yesterday, this girl at this eco store, and talked about stuff. It was great. It was so nice. I think that's the thing. When you get into your flow, you end up running into the right people at the right time, and you have these conversations that are very supportive. And just like, wow, I look forward to going back there and speaking with that person. I mean, I think I bought something that was worth $1, but I talked for we talked for 20 minutes or whatever. It was beautiful. It's just really nice, to the benefit of being in your flow, and also trusting, listening to your heart and your intuition. It's like, I just go where I feel inspired to go. And I don't get up here. I don't be like, oh, well, do I really need, don't get up there. It's just like, I feel inspired, end of story. And then it always leads me to some circumstance and some place, some synchronicity where it's just like, oh, wow, right. Like something that happened too here in this town that I live in, Chilliwack, there was a spiritual store, and it just went out of business. And it's just like, wow, there's an opening for a spiritual store. There's also no vegan restaurant, and the yoga studios, they charge way too much, and the settings are not ideal. So it's just like, holy cow, yeah, maybe I'm not gonna run off to some other town. Maybe this town needs me. Maybe, it's like, if everybody good leaves a place, how's it ever going to get better? And this was a big revelation of yesterday. It's like, okay, yeah, I think I should stay here and be of service to this place, which has been of service to me, right? And so that's what I'm saying. That's my truth, and that is the end of this video. I wish, yeah, anyways, that's the end of this video.